Hey nerds, I hope this is helpful or entertaining to anybody watching this. I decided I'm going to play through Stellaris and record a bit of it. Some people were asking, how do you Stellaris? How do you do it right? How do you not run out of energy and all that stuff? So I thought I'd show you a couple things. This is an interesting playthrough. I'm using some of the DLCs, but that doesn't super affect like just the general stuff. It's just more specifics. So I am playing Space Soviets, Space Soviet roboticists. In space communism, means of production is you, and you seize other people. So we are playing. Government is a communal party. We are fanatic egalitarian, and we are materialist. Fanatic egalitarian means we get more influence from our factions, so keeping mostly the egalitarian and the materialist faction happy, and then increased specialist output, which specialists are not the workers and not the rulers, although the distinctions matter less with space communism. Materialist, which makes robots cheaper and gives increased research speed. Researchers are also specialists, so we get some bonuses there. The two civics that can change your playthrough a lot. Some of them change them less, but these ones are pretty significant. Shared burdens. This is communism. Everyone has the same living standards regardless of whether they're a ruler or a worker. Same amount of happiness, consume the same amount of consumer goods. Increases stability, pops demote strata much more rapidly. That's useful. Like if a ruler's out of work, they won't take a worker job or a specialist job. They'll wait. They'll wait for a real job to open up. And then mechanist, we start the game with 8 robot pops instead of our human or space dwarven pops. Durin is our leader. Our traits are alpine preference, so alpine worlds, which are cold, mountainous worlds. Intelligent for research bonuses. Natural engineers for even more research bonuses regarding engineering and robotics. Traditional, more unity from jobs to get unlock traditions faster. And then the disadvantage that I took to give some extra trait points is slow breeders. We're dwarves, we breed slowly. That's why we build robots to do our grunt work for us as well. And then a little flavor text thing here. In the eons since our first communities took shape, our civilization has spread and prospered. We had a hierarchical power structure that favored the elite. A fair and classless society eventually took form in which all individuals, without exception, were valued equally, became our guiding principle, and it shall remain the cornerstone of our modern society. Now, before I even unpause the game, here's our, this is really laggy. My computer's not really fit to handle this in addition to the recording software in addition to the regular stuff. So it might be a little bit laggy, but we'll see. I just want to show you some basic stuff that before I even unpause the game, I just basically look at all these little thingies. Contacts, we're the only people that we know. If we knew other people, it would show up here. Situation log, there's no situations yet, although, because we're a, what do you call it, democracy. We've got our leader has a thing that he wants to do. So if we build 2 mining districts, we get some unity. That's cool. Market, can't do anything with that yet. Planets and sectors, can't do anything with that yet, really. Expansion planner, we don't know of any planets we can colonize. Policies, I always like start here and just see what the options are. Right now our war philosophy is unrestricted wars. We're going to do a lot of liberation wars and liberate people who have the same ideology as us, that is egalitarians and materialists, and form our own little, West Berlins or actually it's going to be more like East Berlins and North Koreas in terms of friendly people who are friendly to our interests, who want freedom for all people and robots. Orbital bombardment type, we're not going to change that. Like any of these things you can change, and you can't change it again for 10 years. Resettlement, we're not allowed to resettle our people. I could allow us to forcibly resettle people, like manually resettle people, but that's going to make our egalitarian people unhappy. First contact protocol is peaceful. We're not going to be aggressive at first. Initial border status open, that's fine. Food policy, we might want to adjust that to give people more food, to give more happiness and growth speed once we have enough food surplus, which we might very shortly because some of our pops, especially the ones growing food, aren't even eating it because they're robots. Economic policy, that's more something we can focus more on consumer goods and less on alloys or vice versa. Trade policy, trade value right now just gives us one monies. We could change it so that it gives us half a monies and a quarter of a consumer good, or we can change it so we get unity. I'm not really going to fiddle with that. Robotic workers allowed, of course. We wouldn't have it any other way. Population controls prohibited, of course. We wouldn't have it any other way. Slavery, of course not. Purge, displacement only. We might change this to prohibited if we run into somebody who doesn't like that we have the potential to purge people, but I'm not going to change any of that yet. Edicts, these are things that if we have spare influence, we can boost research speed, map the stars to get a bonus to survey speed. That can be nice, but I might just want to colonize something else first. Traditions, these are things that we're going to unlock once we get unity. We're going to go for expansion first, I think, and then discovery for technology, and then harmony to make a good communist society. But we're not quite there yet. Ship designer, fleet manager, don't need to play around with that. Technology, it's alerting us about these things. I always go for, if possible, more technology first in technology, because if you can get that snowball rolling, it's huge. Let's see. Although this is real nice too. Planetary unification, additional edicts, monthly unity. Don't quite need that yet. I'm going to get that first. The way these come up is sort of like cards randomly drawn out of a deck. And depending on like the traits that these people have, so this guy's got industry, you're more likely to get industry techs. It increases the chance of drawing one of those cards, so to speak. And there are some that are rare that come up later that are purpley. Those come up rarely, so if you get a chance, if you see those, it's probably a good idea to grab those first. I'm just going for straight increasing the speed of my research. Factions, we don't have any yet, but if you look here, right now our egalitarian shift is 55%. We should expect 55% of our people to be egalitarian. Right now 63% are. Over time it'll normalize to the 55, or it tends to. We've got more likely for that to happen because of egalitarian governing ethics, high living standards, which the shared burdens is, and then we have a democratic government. We're less likely to get authoritarian because we have high living standards and a democratic government. The only other faction we actually have a chance to have is the materialist, because we have materialist governing ethics. We have the mechanist civic, because we got robots. We have we have robotic pops, so there's more for that. And then natural scientists, because our people are like engineers. Naturally, there's more likely to become materialist. That's pretty much it there. Oh, species. Like normally you don't really have more than one species. In this case, we have two. We have our regular species, our dwarves, our spherons. We could set rights. We could give them different citizenship. We can't actually do that on our primary species. That's what the little red X at the bottom means. Living standards, shared burden. We could have utopian abundance, where everyone gets the same amount of trade goods that rulers do in most societies and gets plus 20 happiness. Once we have a good consumer goods surplus, we can do that. Military service. We can't really take rights away from our primary species. I don't think you can ever. But we've got robots that are set as servitude. We can't really give them citizenship because they don't have sentience yet. Right now they're under the shared burden living standard, which means they get consumer goods. I don't know if that really works that way or not, but because we're egalitarians, we're not going to take those rights away from them. They can be soldiers only. They can't be leaders because they don't have brains. They can't colonize planets. Once you get to the next level of robots, droids, you can. And then full synthetics can have full human rights, so to speak. So that's all the stuff that I look at now. Like if we have migration treaties with other people, we'll have other species in our empire. We can make sure that they have, full citizenship with a shared burden, living standards, just like everyone else. They're free and equal. Leaders, right now we've got like scientists doing the different sciencey things, and then a governor. You can recruit more leaders. That costs energy. Energy is your money. We can't really afford any other leaders now. But on our planet, if you look at this here, we can build a building. And the first building that I think we want to build, we can't afford it yet. We don't have enough minerals. is probably more research, although, yeah, probably more research. But everything that you build costs energy to maintain. So this robotic assembly plant has an upkeep of 5 energy per month. So you don't want to overbuild. Right now we've got 27 people with 27 jobs. We might want to build something so that a couple people have some jobs. I think I'm actually going to build a mining district. I don't have enough money yet. Once I unpause the game. You can see we've got 2 different types of species. We got robots in the minority and then the spherons. Rulers is just our guys. Specialists is just our guys. Workers, click on that. You can expand it a little bit and see what's going on. All these farmers and all these miners are robots. And then the clerks and technicians are our people. The robots can only, I think, work farming or mining jobs right now. But we are starting to build a robot, and we're starting to grow more people slowly. Right now you can see our stability is above 50%, so we're getting bonuses to resources and trade value. That's good. If you look at population approval rating, normally the happiness of the rulers is higher than the happiness of the workers, but not under communism. Everyone gets equal treatment. What we're going to do, I'm going to, a little laggy here, zoom out a little bit. This is where we are in the galaxy. We are near the core. We've got a couple spots here that doesn't look like there's further connections, so we got those for sure. Probably going to explore and expand outward a little bit to try to seize a good choke point like here, so that all this stuff, oh, there's connections there, will be ours for sure. But the very first thing that we're going to do is with our construction ship, we can build, we're going to go for minerals, energy first, so we don't run an energy deficit. Whoops. Energy first. Build a mining station there. That's going to take all our monies. We're going to focus on energy first and then minerals. If we look here, these are the stuff that's unclaimed in the system. You can toggle this little check mark there to show everything that we've got, but we're going to go for the minerals first, then the energy, and then the research, presuming that I don't find a good target here. I'm going to select my science ship. I don't know where you can see it, but yeah, there it is. The point is, we want the science ship to start exploring other systems nearby us. I am going to select, this is really slow. Oh, those are 2 separate, oh, okay. I'm going to survey that system. I'm going to unpause. And you'll see our resources start to tick up a little bit. My computer is not cut out to handle this game plus recording. I'm going to increase the speed a little bit with a plus and minus. So that's what we got going on. Couple things to pay attention to. Your energy, you want that to stay positive. You want a good stockpile. You want to get up to like 5,000 or so before you start, being comfortable with it. Food doesn't really super need to be that high, really, especially because much of the pops that I'm building are robots.
Construction finalized.
Oh, yes. I have a special voice pack that came with one of the expansions. I can tell it to... No, I don't have the money. I'm going to tell it to move over here. Enter orbit. So once we get above 100, we'll be able to build it right away. I actually might switch the more foods for our peoples on now. Ooh, I've got enough money to do that. Build mining station. And then policies.
Anomalous readings detected.
We'll leave that be for now. Food policy. Nutritional plenitude. We're going to give extra food. We're going to get extra happiness and extra growth speed. All of those are nice. Let's see if that drops to plus 15. That's still fine. Like, each person eats like 1 food a month, so We can grow a lot more people before we have to worry about even building another farm. And our food's still going to go up, so that's good. Consumer goods, yeah. The alloys don't really
Construction complete.
go down over time slowly. Like nothing really drains alloys. Your military, I guess, but it's like so insignificant. Consumer goods were producing 24 and consuming 11. I've made a startling find: alien life on a moon. Get some society research. That's good. Minerals, there's also not a huge drain on that. Actually, oh, jobs, yeah. Minerals are getting turned into... So on our planet, here's what's happening. We've got a planetary administration. Ooh, simple life forms. Yes. While far from intelligent, there is life out there.
System resources analyzed.
Okay, I finished surveying that system. Let me pause that quick. Ooh, we found a habitable world, an alpine world. That's good. It's not a big alpine world. Size 10, but it is a world. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no route there. Oh. It's not... That's... Okay. It's not actually connected to anything. Anything? Must be connected over there. That's super weird. Alright, we're going to survey this system. And you know what? After that, we're going to go ahead and survey this system and this system. Holding down Shift-click to do that. Leap moves. What do we got here? We got 110 monies. We're getting close to be able to afford other stuff, actually. Oh, actually. Let's go for this 3 physics research. That's good. Although the engineering research would be good too, but that's only 2. I do want to prioritize engineering research when I can because that'll help us get more robots faster. So this is... The planetary administration is producing 1 enforcer job, which reduces crime, which right now is 0. I'm just going to pause this game. We found an abandoned gateway. Once we get this started, we can have like stargates connecting all of our different places, which is cool. But right now it doesn't work, and it's going to be a long time before it does. Enforcer job, housing, amenities, and 2 administrator jobs. Crime, right now 13 crime is being generated from our 13 people on the planet. Our ruler's skill is reducing that by 3, and the fact that someone's working as a cop reduces that by 25. Which ideally we would have fewer cops in a socialist utopia. Researcher jobs, they turn consumer goods into research points. Alloys, foundries turn minerals into alloys. Civilian industries turn minerals into consumer goods. So like minerals are your base resource. They could turn into alloys, which is used for building ships and space ports and stations. Consumer goods, which is used for all other like production research labs. Actually, the roboticist turns straight minerals into robots too. That's cool. We're growing a person. Once we have a person grown and a robot grown, we're actually going to need another place for them to work. So I am going to build a mining district once I can afford it to get our economy rolling with the base resources that we need to turn into other stuffs. Food doesn't really get turned into any other stuffs other than people. And energy gets used to pay for everything. That's what generators districts do. Although you can also get it from trade value, which we're getting 10 trade value from, a little bit from our pops, a little bit from their jobs. I don't know which job actually produces trade value. Probably the administrator. Excuse me. And high stability. Producing amenities and unity.
Construction
clerks.
finalized.
Clerks produce amenities and just trade value. Construction has been finalized. Let us build another research station there. After that gets finished constructing, and this gets finished being surveyed, a little icon there means there's a gateway in the system. Then we're going to seize this means of production right here, and that will make sure that this means of production and all this other stuff, no one can get past our guy to get in here and get our stuff. It costs more influence, which you earn slowly over time, very slowly, maximum of 1,000. All these other things you can store a maximum of like 15,000, 15,000. That number will go up. Energy starts at 50,000 cap. That number goes up as you expand, and you might have to build storage silos, but there are other ways to do it. We get a tradition. We're going to adopt
Construction complete.
expansion tradition. I like to get to this new colony start with an additional pop growth speed, administrative cap, starbase influence cost reduced. That's also nice. It makes it easier to claim systems. I also do like discovery right off the bat, because once you finish that, adoption effect, 20% anomaly research speed, finisher effect, all research speed increased by 10%, which is nice. But I'm going to start to adopt expansion after our Unity bar fills up again in another 25 months. We can pick colonization. Actually, we'll probably do reach for the stars. We'll hold off on this until we're actually about to colonize something. Starbase influence cost, and then administrative cap. The Arassian Concordant. We've translated it to their language. They called themselves the Arassian Concordant. They were an interstellar power over 1 million years ago. 6-limbed mammalians. Several references to a sort of plague called the Jovarian pox, which swept across their empire. So now we know a little bit about the
Shitlog
precursors.
updated.
The ancient alien race that lived in our neck of the woods. Oh. Well, colonized everything. I'm going to move over here. And then... What? We found dead alien life, those precursors, but we have not found live aliens yet. Right now, this science ship is still going around, and he's planning to survey all of these things, and then he's going to head out of the system. He's got 2 more orders, surveying this thing, and then heading out of the system. Meanwhile, our construction ship should be arriving shortly, and it's got enough to colonize the place. Here we go. You can't colonize it yet until that guy finishes surveying the system. Then once the system is surveyed, our colony or construction ship can build a starbase. System's not fully surveyed.
System resources analyzed.
Yay! He gained a level. He's now a level 2 scientist. We're going to build starbase. 4%. After he builds the starbase, he can, claim those resources, and then there's a lot of energy there. I should make sure my energy doesn't go negative. In the meantime, we're going to have some more people soon, very soon. Let's make sure they have jobs. We're going to build a mining district.